gravel racing's so cool is it's very unpredictable, and in one word, it's wild.
Good morning. How are you today? Enjoy your ride today.
Well, gravel is so cool because first off, it's like a mass start. There's so many people. It's men, it's women, you've got pro racers, you've got people that it's their first time they've ever raced a bike. It's just this community of everyone can do gravel racing. And then at the end of it, there's this big, we all come together, there's a party, it's a lot of fun. And I really like the gravel community because it's very uplifting and everyone's really friendly. And there's a place for everyone here.
Lack of cars, you're out in nature. You meet a lot of awesome people. It's something you can do generationally. My daughters ride, my granddaughter rides, and it's just really cool.
The main thing is because it takes you away from the hustle and bustle of the world. So you're on these private roads, not private, but no cars on the road. So you're out here just with the wilderness, we get to ride near lakes, rivers, cross rivers, under bridges. We on these roads where it's no cars, no hassle, no danger. Only danger is us trying to beat each other up.
Mountain bikers and road riders they're both coming to gravel because it's kind of a mix of the two. What I like about gravel is, if you talk to cyclists who've done road races and mountain bike races, they kind of say, the vibe at a road race, it's very, people are so type A and they don't want to talk and it's all serious. I feel like it retains the vibe that you get at an endurance mountain bike race where people are just hanging out after the race and they're talking about how the race went because most gravel races are a mass start. Everybody gets the feeling that we're all in this together.
Well, the unique thing about this gravel racing, which is my first time attempting this, is that the number of people participating on the same course and the same road makes it not only challenging, but there's a form of camaraderie that you seem to experience with other riders. Other riders looking at a person that's disabled, you seem to inspire them. I get inspired seeing them because I'm challenging myself to keep up or pass them.
Well, it's a time where you can go out by yourself or your buddies, and you can either do the best you want to and really focus on getting a result, or you can just ride it. It's fun for everyone in terms of cycling.
Southeast Gravel, it really started probably back in the mid-2000s. I was training, I was racing full-time on the road, and signed up for a UCI pro race in upstate New York called the Battenkill Classic. And so that was on a lot of dirt roads. There had never been an event like that before. It was on the UCI calendar, and everybody was using their road bikes. And so I started training my road bike on a lot of these dirt roads and going out, and it was a lot of fun. There was no traffic out there. It was getting flats all the time. I was on 23 millimeter tires. And so I just fell in love with riding on more of the dirt roads, going into the unknown places where it's not the typical route. And so I was going out and plotted a course in Clinton, South Carolina area. It was an 80-mile route, and I finished it, uploaded it to Strava, and there wasn't a single Strava segment on the course. So I made a Facebook post, and I just said, hey, I just did this cool ride. Who would be interested in doing an event out there? And 200 people commented on the proposed and said that they would come out. And so I said, all right, let's quickly make an event. Did the registration on Bike Reg, and we had our first Southeast Gravel event in 2018. And it was great. We had just over 200 people show up.
Boyd is the reason Southeast Gravel came to be. Actually, so the first year of Southeast Gravel, 2019, I was still racing full time. Boyd had not been racing for a while. And so, brought the team out. And actually, the very first event wasn't quite as big, but, the team, myself included, we got first, second, and third. And then after the race, Boyd's like, dude, I didn't realize this many people were going to show up. I think I'm going to need your help. Do you want to help me put some races on? I said, absolutely. And I don't know if Boyd was involved with this, but later on that season, I came down with a heart condition and I had to quit riding for about a year and a half. So it was perfect. It let me focus, fully on Southeast Gravel. Now we have 6 events, and that's really how Southeast Gravel started. Boyd and I run it together now. He's kind of our route master, our timing master, and I help with sponsorship stuff, putting together volunteers for the events, rest stops, and we both help with everything in between there. The gravel battle of Sumter Forest, I think it's safe to say it's our crowd favorite. It's definitely, this is what I tell everybody, it's our easiest course, meaning it has the least amount of climbing and probably the least amount of technical features. That being said, it's still a really fun course. The reason I like our Clinton course so much is it's a very dynamic race. When we're at the front of the race, where we've got our racers racing it, the group tends to stick together a lot more just because there aren't any really hard climbs. There aren't any really hard technical features like single track. So we end up seeing more of an actual road race versus a truly brutal gravel event where it's just who can ride the hardest for 4 hours. Really fast, long straightaways, relatively smooth gravel. It's the type of course where we're always going to get a rider who says, I think I can do this on a road bike. It almost works until it doesn't.
'26 and 27.
45 in the front, 48 in the back.
Yeah, 25 in both.
I ran 50. I probably should have done 45s.
Just a little over 30, so like 32.
I've got 25 and 27 in the rear.
I got the 32 in the front and 35 in the back.
38C tires, so I'm running 37, 35.
I did 45, 35. So 45 in the back and 35 in the front.
Tire pressure is so important because there's so many mixed surfaces throughout the race. So it's really important to pick a pressure that you can ride, over rough gravel, but also, not get a flat, and then also works well on the road as well. So it's really, it's good to look at the course ahead of time and really figure out what the course is going to be like so you can decide what tire pressure you really want to run.
It's always a struggle knowing what kind of pressure it's got in your tire. I did 26, 28.
That's a very good question because being that this is only my second gravel race, the first time I did it, and everyone's going to laugh, so here's your laugh. It was at 60 PSI, which was way up there. So the first race was really bumpy. This time, my teammates who've been gravel racing for a long time, they adjusted the pressure to about 49, 50 or so for this race. So
Ran front 35, rear 38, and 38C tires. Yeah, no flats. Last year I flatted twice, one early on, second in the river crossing, and so this year was pretty good. Survived.
Today I ran about 38. I took it under 40. And it worked really good for me. That's one of my biggest things I've been having an issue with is trying to find the right tire pressure. And around 35 to 40 been good for me. So today was closer to 40. And it was smooth riding today.
I'm Andy Scarano from Athens, Georgia. Took the dub.
Who's taking it? Andy, followed by Michael.
I had pretty good legs and fitness coming into it, and I saw the heat on the start list, and it's like, all right, I got to play my cards right, and just had to keep myself at the front, which was pretty tough at the beginning. You know, these big mass starts are pretty hectic, so it's kind of have to play on your instincts and kind of play like a crit, where it's like really aggressive, and you just got to hold your own and be up there and mark the guys that you know are good and fast, and just stay on their wheel. And
this is probably the flattest course of the series, which means that speeds are high and there's not a lot of opportunity to try to get away. Knowing my strengths, I know that I'm not a great sprinter, so I was trying to either solo or get that final group as small as it could possibly be, because the less people that I have to contend with for the sprint finish, the better. So we roll out and we're on this road section. There were a couple guys trying to make moves happen, and, you know, me included. I was trying to see if we could do some sort of early break. People's legs were just too fresh. Everything was getting chased down. And that's kind of how it was for most of the day. There was really not much that was sticking. I would say that probably for the first hour and a half, I was trying to make moves happen here or there. And there were other guys too that were trying to make moves happen. But, you know, the most somebody would get is maybe 30 seconds before we started reeling them in again. I mean, I don't think anyone even ever got out of sight. After about an hour and a half, I was kind of like, I need to save my energy for a spot where I can really make it count. And knowing this course, that spot to me was the hill right after the creek crossing, which is really, I think, the longest climb of the race. It's still not super long, but it's probably the longest climb of the race. And I was thinking, if I can just go as hard as I can up that climb, you know, maybe I can get this group smaller. So
yeah. So it was we had a pretty big group up until about the creek crossing. So that was maybe 30K to go. Someone attacked through the creek crossing, 7 of us.
Race started out, was really fast, but nothing really got away. And then where stuff really happened was after the creek crossing. Dylan Johnson really hit it up the first steep climb, and I was the last one that hung on to that.
I think I went through the creek third wheel and then led up that climb, and by the time we got to that climb, the group had been whittled down to probably 5 or 6 riders. And over the course of the next 15 miles before we got to the finish, the group got further reduced to 4 riders.
But then on the descent, my chain came off, and I had to get off and put it back on. But I was able to tack on to the next group on the road and come in for 6.
There was a crash, and then it just dwindled down to 4 of us, and then it just cat and mouse at the end.
I didn't see or hear the crash happen. I didn't hear that he crashed until after the race. There's 4 riders coming into the finish. I knew it was going to be a sprint. I knew it was going to be a steep uphill sprint. I kind of positioned myself second wheel, which I thought was a good position. The rider who won, his sprint was so strong. I mean, he probably had 4 bike lengths on us. And, you know, 3rd place out of a 4-person sprint finish.
Dylan.
Sorry about that.
Scarano coming and mixing it up. Nice job, dude. Whew. Nice. What'd you think of that finish?
That was tough. I wasn't expecting that steep hill.
Did you pre-ride before?
I did not.
You did not?
I did
Oh
not.
my God, dude.
I did not.
Right.
Yeah,
I just followed the little marker on my map.
Right, you're like, 200 meters to go, 10% grade.
Yeah.
That was the perfect move with just sending it into that final corner.
Yeah.
It was like, shit, I can't get on his wheel.
I just saw the line.
He's cutting me off.
It's close. I can't see the line.
Yeah, it was like pull, so I can't go on the inside.
Nice job, guys.
My race, so I was with the group of women. There was like 4 of us for most of the race. So 2 of my teammates and then a girl who ended up finishing second. And it was pretty hard. We had a pretty good group going throughout most of the race. And then there was a little river crossing around mile 55 and then a very steep climb after that. So I got separated from the girls who ended up finishing first and second.
So honestly, after like the first 10 minutes, I felt really bad. I just came off of a big race from Arizona and I'm supposed to be resting. So I felt really tired today. I wanted to sleep in so bad. So after the first 10 minutes, I started to fall back and honestly, I just wanted to quit. But I gave myself 5 minutes to just rest and start getting back into it, and I started feeling better. So that was.
Oh, it was a really fun and hard race. Like we start, like the first part of the race, I stayed with the front team, the front group, and then in one hill I back, and then. So I'm steady with a leader group.
I found a group to kind of hang with, and then we worked together to get to the finish.
And for the final part, we only 2 women in the group, and we just sprinted in the last climb. We were like, it was so fun and so hard.
Yeah, just hold on for third, and I mean that's gravel racing is just hold on for dear life. So.
From the very beginning, I started off, I broke a chain. And fortunately, some other riders were extremely generous. They broke out their tools, and we were able to fix my bike in just a few minutes. Just the level of the people that are here in this program is just, and their generosity is overwhelmingly appreciated. It's a great experience and a lot of fun to have the privilege of participating as an adaptive sports rider with all the other people.
I was so focused on staying focused and doing, the best I could without crashing. I was always worried about crashing at the beginning. I've only had 2 races before. This is my first time doing this course.
I felt pretty good. I rode well. I was at almost a mile an hour faster than I was last year. So I felt good. I was in a good group for most of the ride. At about 55 miles, there was a little bit of a wreck in front of me. So I got bridged to the group I was in and just couldn't get back on. I rode solo probably the last 15 miles. I couldn't close it. So I probably lost 8-9 minutes there. Great time.
So I saw a YouTube video about last year and I said, hey, that looks fun. So I bought a bike at the end of the year and it's my first ride, signed up for this one, and man, I had a blast.
Today's day was intense, really intense. Riding with the front pack, hanging out with the pros, and then settling into my own, just keeping up with my pace. My intentions today was to do better than I did last year, and I beat my time by like 10 minutes, so I'm thoroughly impressed with what I did today. My first gravel event last year, my first time riding gravel was here at the Battle of Sumter, and I did it again. I'm a sophomore gravel racing, so here we go.
I just want to get out of the tundra land for a little bit, and I'm on a bucket list goal of a 50-mile race in all 50 states, and I got 24 races in so far in 17 states.
I've not completed this whole loop. I've done the practice, so complete the whole loop. I'd like to do it in 3 hours.
I'm trying to finish, actually. That's my goal today is to finish and, finish in maybe under 5 hours.
My main goals are to stay on 2 wheels, get through this first round without hitting the deck in top 10, which I think I may have done all of 3. So pretty pumped.
When you have a turnout this big, over 400 riders coming to this race, it's really just something you can't pass up, and throwing a little competition into it never hurts.
Southeast Gravel does an amazing job of organizing the events, picking out great courses, and they're just run really, really well. I do probably 20 to 25 around the country, all the BWRs, Mid-South, SBT, and this is run honestly as good as any of them.